there's nothing here.
Where's your phone at?
No idea. That's, oh, it's in my pocket.
Alright, we are live. We just need people to jump in. Figure out how to send people in, maybe?
Hold on. Okay, move. I was just announcing it. Move it out of my way.
We got 2 viewers now. Sorry guys, bear with us. We're trying to figure out how to add Chance and Brian onto the stream. How's it going, Alan? What's up, Chris? I didn't see you guys up top.
Hey, Chris.
How's it going, Jeff Kane?
It is really behind.
So bear with us, guys. We're just trying to figure out. This is the first time we were trying to put everybody together and get them in here firsthand. We might not be able to pull them together tonight, so hopefully we can figure this out.
Ooh, no.
Oh. We have some normal grade red cherries, but nothing fancy. In the next 2 weeks, we should have some fire red cherries available. However, right now, we just have normal red cherry grade, nothing fancy. Something's also going on because we're not moving up top at the same speed.
It's behind. That's yourself talking. Excellent connection, but we're like 10 seconds behind.
I don't like how that's 10 seconds behind. I have not cooked any or prepared any shrimp myself, so I could not help you, Chris. I get my shrimp from either Cheddar's, or every now and then we'll go to a steakhouse and I'll get some shrimp with our steak. But other than that, I really don't eat and never really cook shrimp. And then, Alan, if you're thinking about getting some raccoons, either jump on it soon or you're gonna have to wait for more to grow out. Since I sent my box off to Alex, I have had quite a splurge of raccoon shrimp orders go through, so we are running low. How's it going, PA Fish Preacher? Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be able to figure this out. You wanna just go to plan B and just do a stream and talk about what we were gonna do tonight, and maybe just mess with chat, and we'll have to figure this out so we can bring Brian and Chance into it. The whole objective of tonight was to bring Chance and Brian in. Well, right now we're only 1/4 of the screen. Is there any way you can figure it out to make it full screen? No, that shouldn't be that hard. It should be just dragging. See? I got a weird border.
That's
But
bubbles.
we're going to talk about our past scapes, not only at Jersey for the aquatic experience for our first ever Scape Together, but also we were going to talk about the past one at the Aquascaping in Orlando that just happened. And we weren't really going to talk about too much plans for our future Scape, just how we've learned from our first Scape moving forward and stuff like that. And then had a little idea talk about how we met, how we got together, and then basically how the whole team was formed. And it was like last minute, like everything we do. However, it came out really well. We work really well with one another, and we just kind of bounce ideas back and forth. And you know, if one of us doesn't have one thing that we like and the other one does, there's a little compromise, and in the end we end up with some pretty nice aquascapes. So checking back with chat. Oh man, Chris,
you're killing us.
Just hit me with a tongue twister with hard words.
It's
and
our
I can't
first
hit 'em.
stream.
I probably got 20 left, Alan. And then I'm going to pull them off the website because I don't want to oversell. And I'm already starting to sell bigger sizes than I want to put extras in the bag. So I'm going to stop it at 20. Did we have any more go out? I went golfing today and Shelby stayed behind and got all the orders out. So I caught one group of raccoon tigers, but I know there's another order out today. So is it more raccoons?
There should be at least 20.
No, was it order more raccoons?
No.
No, so there should be at least 20 left. So you got any input on the last aquascapes, or what you want to talk about instead?
No. I just wish a YouTuber would help us figure this out. I feel like it could be really easy and we just don't know how to do it. So strange.
We should have probably put a little more effort into this, but it was that or paint the stand, and we decided to paint the stand instead. So but we got most of the stand primed, and we just got to go and get more of the black paint. So we get the whole rack done, and then all the tanks on the stand, so that way we can clear up room in our living room. There's barely enough room to walk. I'm honestly really surprised that Shrimp hasn't broken tanks in the house yet. He has been very well. If there's some minor cracks in the tanks from his tail, I wouldn't be surprised. That thing is a wrecking ball. But not only will our living room be cleared up, but we have like 50 tanks now in the garage, if not more, that need to go onto the display tanks or display racks, so that way we can move around in the garage. There's a ton of stuff that I know is packed away and stored away that I just can't even get to. I'm surprised I was able to get to my golf clubs, but made it work. We have no room for anything else. We were using Streamlabs. Probably should have used StreamYard, but decided to go with what other people recommended, and I don't know. I'm not very computer oriented.
I am, and it's confusing. By the way, it's really nice and warm in Florida.
Yeah.
Don't know how you do it.
It was actually kind of too hot today playing golf. How's it going, Ronald? Nice to see you guys. Anybody have any shrimp questions? Not recipe oriented or anything like that? I'd be happy to help as well. And then besides the shrimp rack, recently one of our pond pumps went out, so we had to go through and add in the 4,000 gallon per hour pump. Made a little PVC pipe system so that way I could add the right amount of water into each part of the ponds, so that way everything was flowing. And even though we got rid of one pump, I turned off the other pump too, because we actually have more gallon per hour now with the new 4,000 gallon per hour pump. So everything is maximum flow. I even have the overflow going on the barrel filter, so I've never had that going before, so it's kind of cool because I installed that when we very first set up the barrel filter, thinking I was going to be able to use it, and I don't think the barrel's ever been more than half full unless it was clogged. So I think we've clicked on every button though.
We are trying our best here. Hey, Crystal. We're new here too.
I'm looking for an invite tab. I wish there was, or just like a link to send. Do you have my phone?
There's like a share, but no.
That's right.
No, that's just the link to watch.
No, that's the video link. Copy it. Oh.
It's really simple.
Not it either. We need to talk about other things though.
Oh. So the raccoon shrimp are actually one of the reasons why we're setting up more tanks. I do have 2 tanks of raccoons going, but before I start and break off more shrimp and set aside some for crossbreeding, I make sure that I have 2 tanks running. And by the time I had 2 tanks running, I had no empty space to throw in a crossbreeding project for them. And as far as I'm concerned, I haven't heard or seen any raccoon crosses out there. So possibly they're Paracardina or something like that, but I don't think they are. I think they're something possibly totally different. So I will eventually throw like some yellow King Kongs or tangerine tigers, females, in with a bunch of raccoon males to figure that out. But they're super hardy. We've gotten them to breed in Neocaridina parameters, as well as very low end Caridina, so very low pH, 4 GH, all the way up to 7.6 pH with a GH of 9. So they're really hardy. They're a true tiger shrimp in that sense. However, they're just not that much about them, like where they come from or anything like that. I just sent some to Alex, hoping that he would do a bunch of research on them and figure that all out, because we just don't have time between breeding, and then Shelby does all the editing, packaging, and customer orders and stuff like that. So I'm just too busy with catching up on new projects since the ankle broke. There's so many things that I wanted to get done in the wintertime that I just didn't get done. So I'm playing catch up now, as well as trying to catch up on other things. How's it going, Brian? Oh man, hopefully. Where was the participants?
I have to.
Yeah, nothing. Dang.
It's an email.
So share it into the chat link. Let me see what Chris said.
Hey,
How's it
Sandy.
going? Sandy. So we have all of these tanks except for the one on the right side of me is Opaula. The rest are for Sulu SA tanks. We got some Moala, and then we got the Cardinals down below. However, I'm waiting for it to warm up just a little bit more in some of the northern states before I start sourcing some of the different varieties. I know I want to get some blue-legged Poso and some white orchid, as well as get some other cardinal shrimp, because other people's lines have the ghost gene in them, and I know for a fact that ours do not have any ghost gene. Like, I've bred, I don't know, 2,000 to 3,000 cardinal shrimp, and I've never gotten a ghost. And there's other people that have gotten a few ghosts here and there, and just a couple hundred. So for sure, I'm lacking that gene. So I'd rather, you know, get a colony that might produce those than spend $50 to $500 for some imported shrimp that are just, chances are they're gonna die. So I'd rather get some from some breeder that's already established them in the United States that has a chance to produce them, and see what you can get. I don't know what you got going on.
pH recommended for Taiwan bees.
So the recommended pH for Taiwan bees is 6. You can do lower to 6 to like a 5.5, but you want to make sure it's no higher than 6.4. At 6.3, you'll start to see a slight drop in baby survival rate. So as long as you keep it below 6.3, you should have prime parameters for pH. How's it going, Daniel?
You're saying that way too low.
Oh. You're barely talking, so I feel like
I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure this out. Hey,
Oh.
Mason.
How's it going, Mason? Hopefully we can be better prepared for the auction for Pasco than we are for this.
This
But
is crazy.
hopefully you bring some mollies or some nice guppies, because I'm hoping to have quite a few tanks open, not just for myself, but for Eddie as well, to get some fish, and some nice mollies and guppies are on the list. Some endlers, maybe 2, and I want to get some rice fish. So hopefully you'll be bringing some of those to the auction. Chris, it's not
No.
your fault. It's probably something we're doing wrong, and we opt out of that option when we signed up for it or something. How's it going, Chance? So Chance and Brian are the 2 people I was trying to bring up in here so we could go over the past
Hey, Brian.
aquascapes that we've gone over, but this is just a disaster. I'm sorry, everybody.
We definitely thought we could figure it out a lot easier than this.
No.
I mean-
Multi-stream means multimedia, not multi-stream with your friends. We thought we had it all figured out. The ghost gene is just the blue ghost, the blue cardinals, the Denarli Suluese shrimp. They're just like, instead of red, they're blue with white paws and white dots and little white stripe. But at first, when they were in the United States and brought over, they were like $500 a shrimp, and then they dropped down to price like $50 a shrimp. But like, whoever bought 10 of them, they did not do very well with them and had no luck. So, damn, Chance is really making us feel bad. He got all cleaned up for nothing. I thought we could learn in the field. That's generally where we do our best work, but not today.
Yeah, the pressure's getting to me here.
I rely on her to set up all the streams for me just to get into other people's.
Oh.
So then, in other news, we got some other projects coming up. We've got the room that we're building inside our living room out of 100 10-gallon tanks. It's going up on the wall. That rack is nearly finished. And then Shelby's got all of her isopods on the very top of a rack that's just chilling in the center of our living room. So that rack's going to be peeled off, and we're going to temporarily use it to hold a bunch of terrariums and stuff like that, so we can have a little room inside our living room. and then eventually that'll be turned into a brand new tank stand where we're gonna do some nice aquascapes. Shelby got me a little coffee table for a little room, and that is where we're gonna put our fluval tank that we just got from the aquascaping contest for Aquashella, and I'm gonna give my best go at a nice aquascape and probably enter that in the CChem contest if I can get that done. I think it's like April 30th is when entries get started for that, so that'll be fun. The raccoons will not breed for neos. That is for a fact. So you could house your raccoons with any kind of neocaridina, and they will not produce any wilds or crossbreed on you. And we didn't figure out we were gonna have this issue until about like 10 minutes before we were gonna start streaming, and then everything we looked up was like 30-minute videos. I'm like, we just don't have time for that. We'll just wing it and see if we can't figure it out through the stream. The shame thing is Mark Peggy is the one to be able to help us, and he is probably already sleeping because he lives on the other side of the pond. So the tank ties are one of those crazy shrimp. They are looking every single kind of shrimp that you could possibly imagine. Just depends on which direction I've gone. So I've got like 30 tanks. I'm not even joking, that are tank tie. Whether it's the green tigers or my blue steels, those are all lines of tank tie. But I have several different tanks where I'm going for like the black and yellow shrimp, the white, or the yellow galaxies, and then other ones where the zebra ghost bees, and then I have it like some of the more basic ones where it's just the orange with some nice stripes. But I've also got some nice orange and red ones and a couple tanks that are going really nice. And I think those are the ones you're after, Tyler, if I might be wrong, but I think those are the ones you'd like. All right, it is April 30th, so I at least got that right. Got something going for me today, and I parred my last 3 holes, so.
And
got
if
that
there
too.
was support in the attic enough, I know this crazy one would put tanks in the attic. Don't give him any ideas.
No, but I want to build like a little room up there, a little like storage room, so we can put everything up in there, and then I can, you know, put tanks in the closets. She's not paying attention.
In the closet.
Yeah, you need towels, go up in the
No.
attic. You want some dart frog tanks, check out the bathroom closets. How's it going, Crypt Keeper? Yeah, the tank tie gene, first of all, the tangerine tigers, they're super hardy. Second of all, they are breeding machines. Whatever you crossbreed them with just seems to take off like ants. So they are really good for projects and stuff like that. I think I've got some of my original crosses are 12 to 14 generations strong right now. So definitely, if you want to have fun, crossbreed, tank tie will get you, I don't know, 30 different kinds of shrimp if you just start with like 3 to begin with. I don't know, I was hoping Chance or Brian would hit us with a screenshot and be like, just do this. But so the Tybee F8s are like F10 now, and they are looking solid. They're basically like a boa without the double pigment, and I need to move them into a better tank or scrape the front of the tank so I can get some updated pictures, because they are just, I don't know, exactly where I wanted the project to go. That's like a finished, done thing, but there's always more you could do. The next thing I'm probably going to try and do is add some like blue, make them blue, or metallic even, and still keep the single shadow, but that's going to be rough. I'm going to have to use some like Aurora tie or something like that without getting the double pigment, because if you add the double pigment, then you just end up with boas. And if I wanted to make boas, those are a real quick way to do it, but I got another project where I'm already working on that. So we have the 40 IBC totes running, and then I've been put on hold on buying more IBC totes because I was told they're poking out of the side of the house. So as soon as my ankle was healed, I was like, let's go. I got this. Let's go get more. And she's like, you can't get more until you tuck the other ones in. So my ankle's healed, but like it's hot now, and I just don't want to go trim the bushes and move IBC totes. So I got to get to that one day. I've been helping Eddie out a lot, and the next video that we kick out will be of a part 2 of doing Eddie's room. We've done a lot of work in there, kind of like a little mix match of Steve's shrimp room and Eddie's, and in return, Eddie's gonna come help me move up the IBC totes. But I think there's like 38 of them already on the other side of the house. But my source of where I'm gonna get my IBC totes, the guy is moving to Kansas, and I don't know if his boss is gonna be as nice to me as he is, because the dude cleans them for me and like brings them to my favorite barbecue joint where the kids eat free and they got free ice cream. So I get myself some IBC totes and some ice cream. I'm happy. Kids get some barbecue. Shelby gets some fried okra. She's happy. And then we just added 500 gallons to the system. But yeah, I gotta make some room first before we add more. But I can go get like another 10 probably. Throw them back there. There's no room. There's no room until I move the trees around, and I'll actually be adding more to the outside of the greenhouse because the air system's already there, so I can just throw them right out and then get another shade cloth and wrap that up. So,
Chris, we have that idea for the tank stand in the middle of our living room to do the rolling ladder, but we don't think it's going to support us on it and the tanks. We're trying to. If anyone knows anyone who could recommend on how to do it perfectly without it coming down, that'd be great.
See, it's not an original idea, Chris. Sorry, but somebody was stupid enough to break their wrist, not my ankle. I broke my wrist coming home from Jersey. The last Aquascaping, I don't know, it's like a 16, 17 hour drive home. And, you know, first thing you do when you haven't seen your tanks for 5 days, you go turn on all the lights, you check to make sure everybody's had a nice vacation. And I didn't bother going to go get a ladder. I was in Jaden's room where I was looking at the top tanks, and I had a rolling chair, and I tried to do the whole push off the side and slide like a librarian. The chair went, and I just went straight down, landed on my wrist. And yeah, that was a fun 3 months. No being able to lift anything with my left hand. So that's where the whole librarian thing came into play. Shelby found one online, but I don't think it's the right height. And then I also need to secure the stand to the wall and figure out how sturdy it is before I attempt the whole library ladder on it. But I want to do it. Shelby's down, so it'll probably happen. Just are the tanks gonna be destroyed with it? Subscribe and find out. It's gonna happen.
So we skipped a comment. Crypt Keeper asked, ever cross Black King Kongs with Royal Blue Tigers?
So not those exactly. I've done Black King Kong with Orange Eye Blue Tigers, just not Royal Blue Tigers. They just make a Tybee. But then if you cross them back with the orange eyes, that's when you can get some of the cool orange-eyed morphs. But it's definitely one of the projects I want to get back in tune and breed more of the orange eyes. But the cross has been done. How's it going, Skipper? And Black Galaxy, but not sure if I add a female or male to a new separate tank to continue your line. They're beautiful. The way you got to do it is if you add a female into the colony, when she gets buried up, you got to pull her into a new tank. Or you could take a female from your Tybee tank, add it to your Galaxy tank, and then when it got buried up, then you yank her into a different tank. But that's going to take 2 or 3 tanks to accomplish that. But it would be very hard because right off the rip, the Black Galaxy with Tybee, you're going to end up with a mix of Tybee and Tybee. So it'd be hard to figure out which ones have the Galaxy gene and which ones are pure just my line.
It's not a bad idea if our ceiling would support us.
Yeah, so that'll be the very next video, Tyler. You won't have to wait very long. So
our house is already weird, Chris.
I think it would be cool if we could get the ladder to hook up to like a slide that went into the pool with the turtles.
What is going on?
Even if it was just like a temporary slip and slide for the day, like we have a Florida barbecue for the shrimpers or something like that. I think we can make it work. No problem, Ronald. I am always down to talk. Anybody has any genetic questions or crossing or anything like that, that is my expertise. You want to know where shrimp are from, who discovered them and invented that certain cross and stuff like that. I'm not your guy. I just don't care about those kind of things. But what it takes to make a $3,000 shrimp, that's what piqued my interest. So I dove down that rabbit hole instead of trying to figure out where these shrimp come from, because I'll probably never be able to go see them all. I'd like to go to like Taiwan or Hong Kong or something like that, see a couple wild shrimp out in the wild. But before I do that, I'd rather go back to Hawaii and check out the Opa'ula pools and see my family from New Zealand and stuff like that. But one day we will make our way over to Asia and check out some of these really neat shrimp. But till then, I'm not going to go look up any of them or care about it. But what do you say, Shelby? What do you have for ideas for your aquascapes or anything like that? Any projects you got going on?
I'm just trying to get this tank stand painted.
When's the last time you took care of your isopods?
Don't bring that up.
She's slacking, Chris. She's slacking. It's been like, how long was Aquashella?
Oh,
before that, she hasn't.
You're not
fed
supposed
them,
to air out my dirty secrets.
But how's it going, Poseidon? Kyle? Nice to see you.
I should have finished Poseidon.
So are we talking purple Caridina? If so, then a lot of it just comes from the crossbreeding with the Tangerine Tiger or Aurora Tigers. I've gotten all my purples through those crosses. The only cross that I know of that does not have that line involved that has purple in it is the Dancing Man Safari line that I got from Mo. For generations, I got just, the normal culls from Fancy Tigers and stuff like that. And then when I bred the reds together, some of the reds came out purple metallic. And if you look at some of the, how's it going, new local Austin? I'll come back to that, but the purple metallic really shines through with the crossbreeding of the reds with the safaris. But besides that, like 10 generations of crossbreeding Tang Tai with other Taiwan bees and stuff like that. So really all you need to make purple metallic is Tangerine Tiger and a Taiwan bee. And it's just going to take several generations of selective breeding and stuff like that before you end up with purples. But if you buy any Galaxies or, Fancy Tigers or anything like that, chances are you'll end up with some purples. Just you got to constantly crossbreed. Not Fancy Tigers, the Galaxy Tigers, I'm sorry. But new local Austin, man. A light bulb clicked on my head the other day. You were on somebody else's live stream. I think it was Rico or something like that. And I was like, That's the guy we ate barbecue with at Aquascaping at the ping pong table. So, oh man, good to see you, man. I'm a new shrimp keeper. I bought 10 Neos. I lost 4 the first week. Is that normal when buying shrimp? It's been a month now, and the rest are doing great. So it can be normal if you're buying from like a local fish store or like an importer or someone like that. The problem is shrimp just go through too many hands. They're just stressed out, and they've gone through so many different water parameters. Chances are your water parameters aren't the same as the ones that they were bred in, and probably aren't the same as the wholesaler and the retailer that they went through their water before they got to you. So it is definitely a possibility and not your fault if that was the case. However, if they're like homebred and they were bred by like someone like myself or Kyle and then sent to your door and you lost 4 of them, chances are your parameters were just drastically off, or you maybe acclimated them just a little bit too quickly. A lot of people will just plop and drop the shrimp or just get them up to room temperature before they throw them in the tank. And we strongly recommend doing a drip acclimation. You know, get a 1 or 2 drip per second going in a bucket. You can use a airline hose and just tie it in a knot to get it to the right flow. And then 30 minutes to an hour is generally what I recommend, unless you're like trying to adapt some tangerine tigers from Caridina parameters over to Neo-Caridina parameters. So you haven't given up? You're still trying?
I have been trying.
Maybe. Yes, the raccoons, they will not harm their babies or anything like that. All of the dwarf shrimp that I take care of, they will not go after the babies or harm them or need special care to raise the larva or anything like that. The opal ula is the only shrimp that we take care of that even has, you know, kind of like a larva stage or anything like that, and they just free float and eat the same food as the adults. So all the Neos and Caridina, the babies can just live up in the tanks, and as long as you don't have fish in the tanks, they'll be just fine. Yeah, Shelby, I definitely got lucky with being able to house everything, and then she has her own little niches that kind of fall in line with what I like. If she wasn't doing the isopods, I'd probably be doing them some way or another too. I don't think I'd have 18 bins going like she does, but I definitely probably would have got my hands on some of the rubber duckies, and then she doesn't have tricolors yet, and I want the tricolored. So if I can get my hands on a breeder of tricolors without having to like import them in or something like that, I'm not against importing. Like import, you gotta get them into the country one way or another. But if possible, and I can buy them from a home breeder, I know the risk for me is going to be a lot lower, and that's just what I prefer. And if we gotta wait, I will wait, or until the states open up and Chris can smuggle us some tricolors down here for us, because I definitely get clickbaited when he posts the tricolor pictures of the videos.
Thanks, Poseidon. It's a big learning curve, that's for sure. I'm really good with computers and figuring things out. I enjoy that. Video games been like the biggest thing for me, so anything on a computer and learning on how to do that just interests me a lot. So hopefully I'll get better at it.
So with drip acclimating, do you wait until warmer water volume is double the original? Not warmer, water, sorry. Or triple, or how far diluted should we get the shipping water before netting them into the tank? It really depends on how far your parameters are apart. If your parameters are within 10 TDS of one another, only double. If your TDSs are 80 apart, then I probably do triple. But other than that, you don't want to do too long or anything like that. But definitely netting the shrimp out and not adding any of the bag water into your tank, that is a pro move right there. So Chris, nano fish and shrimp. I really like the rice fish and some of the rainbows, the thread fins, the fork fin, the blue eyes and stuff like that. Those are probably, if I can see those at the next auction, we will have tanks ready for those for sure. And the chili resporas, those are a great fish. But if you're just wanting to do shrimp, you are asking the shrimp guy for what to add into the tank. You should do green emeralds. I know you like the green jades, but I really think you'd like the green emeralds as well. If you can get your hands on those. And then I think you said you like the orange Riley or Rilleys. And those are becoming more available in the hobby right now. So if you can get your hands on those, you should. That's a couple. So. Yeah, Chris. So that's definitely why I'm trying to get my hands on some captive bred.
Bye, Poseidon. Have a good dinner.
Oh, he's heading out? Mm-hmm. Later, man. That's why I got Shelby those for the editing. I don't know why you guys like it. It's not for me. I'd rather be pulling algae out of the bottom of the pool.
Which shrimp do you suggest knowing what I did?
No, I already answered that. I knew that was coming. I said fish just because that's what we've been thinking of. Mm-hmm. We've been taking this like a hobby for, I don't know, 7-8 years now. And I know I kind of quit my day job and just been doing this, but I've been working maybe 2 days a week and do water changes. And besides that, I haven't tried to put anything else on the shelves or anything like that. So Shelby recently filed for our nursery license, and we haven't even done anything with that other than sell the massive heaping piles of moss that we've been drowning in. Can't cull shrimp or do anything with because there's moss front to back in the tank. So we got rid of all the moss almost. So there's 2 or 3 tanks, and if we don't sell that, no big deal. We will be at Aquaticon next month, and so all of the moss that we can bring, we're probably going to bring there, because if it's anything like Aquashella, we are going to probably sell like 200 to 300. It's only a one-day show, so if we sell like 100 to 200 portions of moss, it'd be pretty good. So, but we did put the license to use, so it definitely paid for itself. And then she filed for our fictitious name and our business license, and then once all that's gone through, we'll get our business resale license, and we're going to start carrying like tissue cultures and a couple other little things. Shrimp foods, we're definitely going to be carrying the Bloomfield shrimp foods, as well as a couple other little things. We looked into getting our own, not like crazy recipes or anything like that, but I'm a big fan of garlic shrimp food and stuff like that. So if we could get like a garlic pellet, some barley pellets, and snowflakes just to carry, and then like $50 orders or more, we get like a free bag of snowflake or something in with every order. That's something I'd like to start doing also, but we need to take a trip and get some wood. That's the next thing.
Hi, Amber.
Oh, hey, how's it going? And then, is there a digital pH meter you would recommend? No, I don't. I have never dove down into that. I didn't want to keep a probe constantly wet or calibrated or anything like that. And if you ask, this is my personal pH meter. She will go through and test any water. All I have to do is ask nicely and probably bribe her with a new plant. But the new plant only comes if she does like 5 or more. She's not getting a plant for just testing one tank. But
just for everyone watching, just so you know, if he floods a tank or he floods RO water, we have a deal now that I get a free plant. So
only if
he's
she
racked
finds
up
out,
twice
though.
now.
If I can stop the flood and clean it all up, and she never finds out, or no proof. Why'd you do towels today?
The pH drops are usually more accurate to me than any of the digital pH meters. So, and for pH, it's only 3 drops, so it's usually not too difficult, and you don't have to wait forever. Testing ammonia sucks. I wish they'd have a digital ammonia one. That'd be a little bit better, but pH is usually not too hard.
Yeah, Alan, I bring it to the auction, man. I probably won't be bringing too much moss. I'll be buying more than anything at the Pasco meeting next.
He usually has to buy me something to make up for something he did, though.
I'll probably have to get her the tricolors when I buy my tortoises.
Unless I like them.
But I want the radiateds, so she's not a fan. I don't think I'm going to pull the trigger on the Galapagos first. I think I should start with some other tortoises, and then once I've taken a blood sample or two to the vet, then maybe I'll be more comfortable with the Galapagos. But I don't know. Somebody told me too much, and I'm like not worried about it, so I'm going to go easy on the tortoises. But hopefully it warms up and we can get moving on the tortoise pen also. But you got one more thing you're going to try? Nope.
No, I just messed everything up. No, I was just looking.
Yeah, sorry Chance, sorry Brian. I think we're just going to bail on that plan for the night. And so in case anybody wants to join us in the future or something like that, we plan on making Mondays 9 o'clock our scheduled live stream. We were going to do this before and other stuff like that. However, just life has really just been kicking us in the butt. The first Monday we wanted to do it was like the week before Jaden's birthday. We didn't want to start it, and then the next week was Jaden's birthday, so we would have missed that one. And then after that, it's just been tank stand, Aquashella fair. We went to Global this week. That was really cool. I forgot all about that. I've mentioned like 3 things to 3 different people and forgot all about Global, but it wasn't as big as it usually is in past years. A lot of that has to do with a lot of countries are still shut down, Europe and China. Like there's usually like an entire aisle of all like China products, and not a lot for the aquarium hobby, but there was like a few tables that sold nets, and then there was like another table there that we got like 5 crates of hardscape, and it was like super cheap because they didn't want to ship anything home. So we kind of missed out on that. And then like we got 2 dogs, and Shrimpy's ginormous, so we like to go through and get some treats for the dogs and stuff and toys, and there just wasn't that many free handouts, and there wasn't as many aquatic vendors as there usually is, but there was some really neat fish and a couple new products that we got our hands on as well. So we'll be doing some videos on those. We got some real sparkly rocks. Shelby's really happy with those. We got green, rosa, and then some like peppered black and white.
Mint.
But you touch the rocks and then your hands are covered like glittered. You just help the kids with a little art project, but it's all natural. It's like shards of crystal or glass or something. Yeah. So our science fair project with Jaden was dipping rocks in vinegar to figure out if they were inert or not. Inert. I said that weird. Inert. And then we found out that the mountain stone is not. So we'll probably do the same thing with these rocks. The vendor said that they were inert, but we got a whole bucket full of all 3 colors. So be fun and interesting on that. And then another topic that everybody online kind of like cringes about is the whole aquarium seeds. Stumbled upon it online like a week ago, where they're selling like Aquascape structures with the seeds embedded into the Aquascape, and then they grow. So this isn't the wish packet of seeds or anything like that. They actually claim it is Glosso seeds, and it's from like Pen Packs, I think is the. I don't know. It might not be Packs. That might be.
It's Pen Packs.
Maybe. I don't know.
Aquaflora is what it's called.
But yeah, so it's a cool little structure, and they say it's going to grow its own aquarium plants on it. So we got one of them. I'm going to set it up in one of the new tanks, and then, that's where I was going with the whole testing thing. So we're setting up the new tank stand, and I'm having an issue getting all the substrate that I need for all 100 10-gallon tanks. So I might actually be using up some of my old substrate. Some of it's been sitting in water, some of it's dried up, some of it's 7 years old, some of it's a year old. So it's like, I think I should do some tests and figure out, where the pH sits and whether we can reuse it. Some of it I used for turtles, and then the turtles made a mess, but then I decided just to throw shrimp in it after we were done. We were just babysitting the turtles for my buddy Mick. It was a Mata turtle and an albino soft shell. So when we gave him back the turtles, I threw shrimp in it, but there's like mulm all over the bottom from the leaf litter with the Mata and stuff like that. So I decided just to get the tank and put it aside, but I might try to clean that up and test the pH and see how those tanks are going, and maybe just reuse like a whole row of old substrate tanks and do some weird tests with botanicals and some other things that I really wouldn't do with a lot of my breeding tanks, but I think a lot of people could use some of the little tips and tricks to save some money and not have to throw away their aqua soil. Or we don't throw it away, we use it to grow our immersed plants outside, but if you could use it for an extra year or two, that would be way better than just growing crypts out of it. So another 8 minutes, I'm gonna kill. So
I think you could talk for another 8 minutes.
I could if you gave me a topic.
Yeah.
Oh, how's it going, Jeffrey Brown? Nice to see you, man. And how's it going, Susan?
And by the way, Crypt Keeper. So the strips, I have noticed, are very inconsistent. People complain about those nonstop. Now with the drops, I have found out, like, obviously we have to test like 36 tanks in a row. So I do the drops that you get from like any Petco, any pet supermarket, and consistency with all the tanks read the same. So it's just food for thought, I guess.
And you want to make sure when you wash out your test tubes between tests that you use RO water, not tap water, because the tap water can mix that and go into the test reading. So if you're like testing for KH or something like that, and you're testing RO water with GH minerals only, and one tank, rinse it out with tap water, and then test it another tank, you'll probably end up with some KH residue in there. So make sure you get that out of there.
Hey, Susan and Aquaballs.
What's up, man? I assume it's man. Maybe it's not.
I don't know. It might be like
Ball pythons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dang it.
That would be cool, an aquatic one though.
What?
Gigantic.
What if we got Jaden one of those aquatic snakes that you minnows? I think that they're like African or something. I haven't seen them at Repticon in a very long time.
I've only seen them
I
in
don't think you'd be
10-gallon
happy
tanks.
with
I
it.
feel like they need a lot more than the 10-gallon tank. They're ridiculous. It's like a giant eel.
Or the sirens, and we just try to convince
I
them
guess
it's a
that's
snake.
the
But it's
closest
too
thing.
close to an axolotl. They just think it's a messed up axolotl.
Yeah.
I worked at a farm, and I had a lady come after us on the lawnmower, yelling at us, "There's a snake! There's a snake! You need to kill it! You need to kill it!" I get a shovel. I wasn't gonna kill it. I was just gonna move it, and it ended up being a siren. It was a huge greater siren. The thing was almost 2 feet in length and probably like 3 inches in diameter, and it was definitely a cool sight to see. It was in the mud, about maybe an inch of water, and the lady definitely thought it was a snake. She didn't believe me. I had to pull up Google and show her images of what it looked like, because it didn't have any gills or anything like that. It just straight looked just like a little snake with 2 little legs. And she wasn't getting close enough to see the legs on it either, so.
Jeffrey Brown's asking, what's your favorite shrimp?
That changes every week, if you ask. I probably said it like 3 different times in 3 different streams. I'm giving probably 2 different answers, but It's a steady draw right now with the orange-eyed green tigers, or I got some emeralds where I'm throwing backlines on them, and some of them are turning out rusty with like little red and orange hue to them. So depending on the mood of the emeralds, maybe the emeralds, but the green jades, they're just as moody, or the orange-eyed green tigers are just as moody. Sometimes they look a little orange. So depends on who's looking nice that day.
I like zebra babilates or raccoons.
Babaltes.
What did I say?
Babilates.
Oh, we
That's
had
my
to look
fault.
that up because he's been telling me that for years, and now I can't get
That's
to
why.
say it right.
That's why I hooked up Alex, is because before we did our video, I probably watched Alex's video 15 times during 3 different parts of the video. Every time I had to say Babalti. Now I can say it, no problem. But if you want me to read it, I'll probably say Babalti again.
So wait, is it Babalti or?
Oh,
Yeah, it's Babalti.
It's Babalti. See, I messed up.
No,
I don't want to
we're
say
never
it the
gonna
other
get it
way,
right.
I'll mess it up.
You know, when you say something wrong for many years, you say it wrong forever.
Yeah, definitely. If you weren't cleaning out your test tubes between your testing, it's definitely an issue.
That one little drop can make it that big of a difference, depending on how hard your water is. Which you said you have insane hard water, so yes, a couple drops in that little tiny tube will make a huge difference. Thank you, Alan.
Yeah, I see it right now, and I'll be shipping those out to you tomorrow. And I say me because Shelby works on Tuesdays, so I actually have to do something. I can't go golfing until I get your order out now. I'm not going golfing so I got it done with today. But then we got Ronald asking what's the best substrate. Still to this day, I am using Brightwell probably the last 5 years. I know there's a few new substrates out on the market. I haven't tried any of those. However, Brightwell is if it's not broken, why fix it? And I've had a great success. It is very uniform and consistent. I haven't had like a single bad batch where I couldn't get the pH down. I found if the pH isn't getting below 6.2, it's usually user error. So I definitely have had no reason to go elsewhere other than maybe availability. So if they run out and I can't get enough of it, maybe I'll try out a couple different brands. But Brightwell is still true to this day the best substrate, besides like the original ADA. And like that was if you didn't cycle that the right way, you weren't going to be very successful with that. So for beginners and advanced shrimp keepers alike, I'd recommend Brightwell. And then were we able to share the live stream little Jesus, I can't talk now.
No.
The thing Angel set up for us. Yeah, that was supposed to be like the intro. Maybe
No,
we did it for the outro.
We'll have to figure that out. It's not going to be for the outro.
We had a lot more prepped for the live stream than we actually live streamed, but we'll get to it another time. This was the first one, and hopefully, it wasn't that cringy. I'm sure it was, but we got 17 people to stick with us till the end, and a few people drop in and just say hi. So really appreciate everybody for coming on out, and anybody that dropped a like, appreciate you a little bit more. Thank you, Susan. You take care, and hopefully you get her on your stream and do one together. Get her out of her comfort shell. So, but the samurai soil is still used for all the Neos. I just like how it looks and then how clean it is. Yeah, it is on hand. Whenever I need some of it to throw at shrimp to get his attention, I just grab a couple of those. And then Shelby's like, "Why is there samurai soil all over the floor?" I'm just giving out all my secrets.
Even better is the samurai soil. The containers are multi-use. We use this for our koi food. So we have some here and some outside. They're just great containers once you're done using the substrate.
All right, so DJ, I'm going to hold myself to this. I'm going to take a picture tomorrow of the green emeralds, and I'm going to post them on the website. I told somebody that I was going to have it done by the end of the month.
Night, Mason.
So I got like 2 days to do it. I'm going to hold myself to it tomorrow. I'm going to get the picture done. I'm going to throw the green emeralds on the website. They're going to be $6 a piece. Solid green, though. And, yeah, they'll be medium to high grade in quality. And they're all juveniles, so just the older they get, the better they'll look. And thank you, Jeff, and everybody else for. Oh, we got more questions. How often should we be feeding Caridina a mineral supplement such as Mineral Junkie? So I use like a mineral food once a week, maybe, because we got the 2 different kinds that we use, and we rotate them throughout like our 8 foods that we rotate. So I'd say once a week. Is what our shrimp get. They don't need it too much as long as you're doing the water changes with the right minerals. If you were using like just RO water with a very small amount of minerals and low TDS, then I could see you having to do Mineral Junkie or something like that. We use Mineral Uptake and Eric's Secret Shrimp Food, but then there's a lot of minerals also in the Food Fight and the Growth, the Envy that we use too. So we they get their minerals, but it's not a necessity.
Right. It all depends on how much you feed your shrimp, because you want to rotate your food. If you don't have that many shrimp, obviously you're not feeding them like 3 or 4 times a week. You're only feeding them once, maybe a week, or once every other week. So it depends on how many shrimp you have, but yeah, you want to rotate it in.
I actually find that the shrimp will have trouble molting if you feed them too much minerals. So that is why we have like the snowflake, the nettles, and the Baileys to feed after the mineral uptake, because I don't like to feed too heavy protein or mineral dense foods right after one another. But I think that's going to be it. I was yawning before we started and then woke up trying to panic to figure everything out. Nothing worked, so we just went with it. Thank you guys for sticking with us. Sorry, Brian and Chance, we weren't able to pull you up this week, but next week, stay with us. Florida Scape Team will be together, all 4 of us.
Thanks for watching, guys.